There we go. Alright, let me post that. And let me post that. And let me post that. That way people at least know I'm live. Hi everybody, my name's Sakutian. I hope you all are having a good day. I am just getting everything together here before I dive in. I was fiddling with my tracking a little bit. I'm always fiddling with all my settings because I want to keep trying to do better at this. For better or for worse. If you're wondering what the let me turn that down a little bit actually, because it's like it's the fine line between can't hear it at all and I don't want to compete with it. The music's from a thing on Steam called On Track. They have train sounds too. So if you like trains, or if you like I'm fiddling with my face. You can get this. It is free. They do have a thing on there, so if you want to like pay a few bucks to like tip them or whatever, you can do that too. This is my little chatty talky thing. I call it Stings, Wings, and Other Things. This is when I talk about different magical creatures. I've done a few of these so far, and sometimes I have guests, sometimes it's just me. I really wish I could like I'm sorry, I'm fiddling with my light, trying to get it a little better. Give me one sec. I wear glasses in real life, and like tracking when you have glasses is tricky because people want you to use like an iPhone or something, and I'm like, I don't have an iPhone, and I am not going to buy an iPhone for the purposes of tracking because that's thousands of dollars, and I would rather spend the money on something else. Let me adjust this a little bit. Sorry, I'm always fiddling with everything. Okay, I think that's a little better. Yeah, I think that's... see, my one eye, like, goes down if I turn too far. Hello, Shameless, how are you? So... I don't like that. I'm changing it back. I think it was better the other way. Yeah, I think it's better this way. I don't know. I'm always fiddling with stuff and adjusting things. For better or for worse. I'm just messing with my face. Sorry, everybody. Why is my eye so low today? Okay, so I think I just tend to look high. Okay. So, if you've never been to a Stings, Wings, or Other Things before, I talk about magical creatures on here. Sometimes I have a guest, sometimes I have myself, because the only guests I have on these streams are people who I'm friends with and who I hang out with pretty consistently, and they're all busy. So, a lot of these are just me chatting. I wasn't sure what creature to do for November. I was going to do another one of these with my friend Flora, but she was busy. So, I didn't want to miss November because then I'm like, oh man, now I'm like behind. So I sat and I looked and I was like, what creature could I do for the month that would be good? And hi, Atomic. One I came up with was there were a couple of creatures that are tied to November. So I was like, okay, let me just go in here and do this really quick, and we'll do like a little special. We'll do a little November special. So the creatures we're going to be talking about today are Mothman, who is like our first cryptid. I haven't done any cryptids on the show yet. Most of these have been like more classical magical creatures. Owls and pukas. So if you're interested in any of those, we're going to be touching on what they are a little bit today and going through these. And I wanted to start off with... Where is it? Okay, get rid of that. Bring this up. This is Mothman. If you don't know who Mothman is, you're going to find out a little bit about Mothman today. You can see Mothman is creepy looking. I'm putting Mothman behind me, though. So Mothman is a cryptid, and I'm going to read you some info about Mothman. We're going to chit-chat about Mothman a little bit. So Mothman is the name given to a humanoid creature that was mostly sighted around Point Pleasant, West Virginia from November 15th in the 1960s and around 1966 to December 15th of 1967. So roughly a little bit more than a year, this thing was getting sighted a lot. If you're in America and you go to like any sort of like, you know, cryptozoology or cryptids or monsters, there's a good chance you're going to hear about Mothman. Mothman has a statue. Mothman's probably like the biggest cryptid that we have here in the States. He got a movie. He got a lot of stuff going for him. A very friendly man.
Welcome to the tower.
Thank you for following, Foral16. Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Oh, Mothman. Mothman freaks me out. I'll show you all the trailer for Mothman's movie. Alright, so let's see here. There are some notes. Reporters basically got varying accounts of Mothman flying around doing all kinds of stuff. There were basically a couple of people who said they saw a large black creature with glowing red eyes standing on the roadside when they were near a World War II munitions plant. It was weird. I said it wasn't following, but appeared in my follow thing. I fixed it. Aw, well, I appreciate you following. Thank you. They couldn't discern its face, but they described it as being roughly 7 feet tall with white wings and the build of a slender, muscular man. And then they drove off. And apparently it flew after them, making a screeching sound, which that's some nightmare fuel for you. If I saw something in like it flew after me screeching, like nope, no. Over the next few days, more people reported similar sightings after local newspapers covered it. 2 volunteer firemen who saw it said it was a large bird with red eyes. A sheriff by the name of George Johnson believed the sightings were due to an unusually high heron he termed as shite poke. So they're saying this is a bird, a really big bird. A few other people, one person said that when they shone a flashlight at it, its eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors. And then they tried to blame the buzzing noises from it on their television sets. They also said that this thing abducted someone's German Shepherd Bandit. A wildlife biologist by the name of Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters the descriptions and sightings fit the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as tall as a man with a 7-foot wingspan and reddish coloring around its eyes. The bird may have wandered out of its migration route and therefore was unrecognized at first because it was not native to the region. Now, we've all seen something in the dark. I one time confused a barbecue grill cover for a giant koala. But when you have multiple people being like, I saw a large muscular man with glowing red eyes and white wings, I'm like, I don't think that was a crane, but they were making out probably, so who knows. Due to the popularity of the Batman TV series at the time, the fictional superhero Batman and his rogues gallery were prominently featured in the public eye. While the villain Killer Moth did not appear in the show, the comic book influence of both him and Batman is believed by some to have influenced the coinage of the name Mothman in local newspapers. So maybe they lifted him out of the comics. Following the December 15th, 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people, the incident gave rise to the legend and connected Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse. According to the Georgian newspaper, Russian UFOologists claim that Mothman sightings in Moscow foreshadowed the 1999 Russian apartment bombings. The Mothman Prophecies, which we'll watch a trailer for this, is a 2002 major motion picture based on a book of the same name by John Keel. Alright, so let me show you this trailer really quick here. Mothman Prophecies. And you'll probably hear this for a second. Alright, let me mute that. Let me mute my music real quick. Alright, and let me get rid of Mothman. We don't need him right now. Get out of here, Mothman. Nobody needs you. You creepy bastard. I am too big. I need to shrink. Whee! Whee! I am too tall. Too big. Too large. Alright, let me full screen this. Oh wait, I'm in the way. Oh no!
We were just making sure there was adequate closet space.
Good. This house is yours if you want it. We'll take it.
Don't make out in other people's closets.
Okay. It's just me.
You didn't see it, did you? You didn't see it, did you? You didn't see it.
See what?
She knew. She was drawing angels.
Those are not angels.
What are you doing here?
Somehow between 1 and 2:30, I traveled 400 miles. I've got no memory.
Past few months, people have been coming up to me and reporting strange things.
Weird lights, strange phone calls.
Hello? Hello, John Clark. Who is this?
What do you do when someone comes into your office and tells you they saw this in their backyard?
My wife saw something. Drew pictures. Just like this. I'll show you this.
What are you laughing at, Atomic?
One day I started hearing voices. And the voices became messages.
It was right here. All I could see were these two red eyes.
Big red
I
eyes.
met him. John Clark. Who is this?
Red eyes.
I met him. You met him. He said, do not be afraid.
Silly.
99.
Mothman is not silly.
99 are believed dead.
You're reading my mind, are you? What's in my hand? Chapstick. This isn't just a message, it's a prediction. Something terrible's gonna happen.
Richard Gere, Lorna Linkney, Will Patton, Deborah Messing.
Things are going to happen. People you know and love are going to die. And no matter what that voice tells you,
You're frightened right now, aren't you?
there's nothing you can do about it.
The Mothman Prophecies, based on true events. AKA, something happened that these guys are alluding to in their book or movie. The phone's ringing even though it's off the hook! Oh my god. Okay, so that's like probably where a lot of people hear about Mothman is that movie. Let me turn my music back up. There you go. So basically, if you've never seen that movie, it's an older-ish movie at this point. It's from the early 2000s. And let's pull Mothman back on screen. There he is. So this is what people are saying they're seeing. The common things are you basically see a big, hairy, winged, muscular being with glowing red eyes who comes out and either, in some instances, just sort of scares people. In some instances, they're saying he's chasing them, or he's communicating with them. He makes screeching noises. The accounts vary. I do have my book. I have the Element Encyclopedia of Magical Creatures, which I use for research for these for some things. It's a really cool book. It is by John and Caitlin Matthews. If you like magical creatures and you want to get a good general, like, here's a rundown of a bunch of different ones. This one has a bunch. They do an entry on Mothman. A bizarre creature reported in the area of West Virginia around the Point Pleasant and Salem area. Described as looking like a brown-skinned man with wings, it was apparently sighted on November 12th And in 1966 near the town of Clendenin. Okay. 5 men digging a grave in the local cemetery saw the creature take off from a nearby tree. A few days later, a couple driving along the road near Point Pleasant saw what appeared to be a man maybe 6 feet tall with deep wings folded against its back. Months later, they saw the same creature on the hillside above the road. It spread its wings and rose into the air and followed them, keeping pace with their car for some miles. Another sighting took place some weeks later outside a house in Salem. The owner was watching TV when he heard a loud whining sound outside, followed by the howling of his dog. He went outside to find out what was going on, only to see 2 huge red eyes that glowed like bicycle reflectors. Returning to the house for his gun, he was enraged to find that his dog had vanished together with the creature. The dog was never seen again. As word of these reports spread, so the creature was named Mothman from the character in the popular Batman television series. Rumors of UFOs and men in black became attached to the creature, and in 2002, a popular film starring Kevin Costner... Oh, that was Kevin Costner. Why did I say Richard Gere? It was Kevin Costner, appeared, called The Mothman Prophecies. Okay, so... that's kind of Mothman's big claim to fame, is dude has basically a movie, a few sightings, and is associated with November because that's when Mothman was first sighted. So, if you're wondering, like, what's Mothman have to do with November? Mothman was first sighted in November. Let's take a look at some of the other info I have here. Mothman's pretty widely covered in popular press. It's linked to a lot of, like, UFO, Men in Black stuff. He's an alien. According to various reports, roughly at least 100 people have seen Mothman, with many more afraid to report their sightings. A lot of written sources, but they're basically saying, like, Mothman sightings are probably not always accurate, because there are now books. There are so many books about Mothman. There are so many books about Mothman, and he's just so present in the public thoughts at this point. They're like, no, you've been seeded to think that you're seeing Mothman. Let's see. What else did I write down here? Some people tried to do the old, like, there are a group of construction workers who tied flashlights to helium balloons as a joke. Other people attribute the sightings to barred owls, suggesting Mothman's glowing eyes are actually the red eye effect from the reflection of light from flashlights or other bright light sources. So you have people who, like, literally like, let's tie some balloons to a light and we'll make people think they see Mothman. Other people are like, no, it's owls or cranes. You hear a lot of birds. Benjamin points out that the only report of glowing red eyes was secondhand, that of Shirley Hensley quoting her father. However, John Keel relates the story of witness Connie Carpenter, who allegedly saw Mothman in broad daylight on November 27th, 1966, and described it as having glowing red eyes. So again, the accounts are all over the place. Some people are like, oh, this person never saw this. One of the prevailing hypotheses associated with the Mothman at the time of the original sightings was that it was a misidentified sandhill crane. Okay, so they're like, oh, a crane wandered out of its usual area, and people are, like, thinking it's a crane. Let me see here. Again, some people are considering that it could be an owl. Hi, Scarlett. It is, yes, we're talking about Mothman. There is a Mothman museum, too, by the way. There is a Mothman museum. We'll be talking a little bit about that. According to the University of Chicago psychologist David A. Gallo, 55 sightings in Mothman in Chicago during 2017, published on the website of self-described researcher Lon Stickler, are a selective sample. Gallo explains he's not sampling random people and asking if they saw Mothman. He's just counting the number of people that voluntarily come forward to report a sighting. According to Gallo, people more likely to visit a paranormal-centric website like Strickler's might also be more inclined to believe in and therefore witness the existence of Mothman. He has a comic issue in many, many comics. He's in everything. Like, again, Mothman is kind of like the most famous cryptid in America. Like, you know, Pogo Pogo, Sasquatch. But then, like, Mothman is just, like, people just grabbed onto him. Some pseudoscience adherents suggest that Mothman could be an alien, a supernatural manifestation, or a previously unknown species of animal. However, the latter is unlikely, as accordance with the square cube law, a creature with 6 to 7 foot height and a 10-foot wingspan, as described as Roger Scarborough, would not be able to fly. In his 1975 book, Keel claimed the Point Pleasant residents experienced precognitions, including premonitions of the collapse of the Silver Bridge, UFO sightings, visits from inhuman or threatening men in black, and other phenomena. So, here's what we can confirm. Some people saw some weird thing that may have been an owl or a bird of some description that wandered out of its usual territory, which makes sense because the world is animals lose their habitat all the time, and the animals don't just turn into steam. They go somewhere else, or they get, forced to migrate for any number of reasons. If you've never seen a barn owl at night, they are really, really cool. And then there are, like, apparently some people who actually were playing pranks and, like, rigging up strings with flashlights and just setting these things off. It gets tied over to the collapse of a bridge because I guess that was happening around the same time. So you have all these sightings for about a year, a little bit more than a year, and then they stop. And then some other people are like, we saw Mothman in Russia in like the 2000s. Let's talk about Mothman's festivals here. Mothman has become a big source of tourism for Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant held its annual Mothman Festival in 2002. The Mothman Festival began transforming creative ways to attract visitors to Point Pleasant. The group organizing the event chose the Mothman to be the center of the festival due to its uniqueness and as a way to celebrate their own local legacy. According to the event organizer, the average attendance for the Mothman Festival is estimated to be between 10 and 12,000 people per year. A 12-foot metallic statue of the creature created by artist and sculptor Bob Roach was unveiled in 2003. The Mothman Museum and Research Center opened in 2005. The festival is held on the third weekend of every September, hosting guest speakers, vendors, exhibits, pancake eating contests, there's something for Atomic, and hayride tours of local notable areas. Let me get you all the picture of this statue here. Give me just a sec.
I'm gonna put it in my mouth. I'm gonna put it in my mouth. I'm gonna stuff it in my face. I'm gonna stuff it in my face.
Atomic, I am not taking you to Point Pleasant so you can eat pancakes. Okay, let me make this bigger. Ha. There's the Mothman statue. So there is a 12-foot tall Mothman statue in Point Pleasant. They built this in 2003. Well, they sculpted this in 2003. There's also a museum. So again, is Mothman just like a tourist trap kind of thing? Like, did Mothman just kind of come along and a bunch of people are like, it's Mothman? And then you have all the people who are like UFO enthusiasts and area, like the space folks, the people who are like, the aliens abducted me, they took me to space. Because they a lot of them apparently like believe in Mothman. And man, can you imagine 10 to 12,000 people showing up every year for a Mothman festival? That's a lot of people. I mean, that's a lot of people showing up to eat pancakes and see Mothman. That's a lot of people. And I'm contributing to this because I'm talking about it. There's some notes about popular culture. So there's the book and the movie. So there's a 1975 book and a 2002 film, The Mothman Prophecies, which is like the best well-known thing with the biggest budget. Small Town Monsters has released 2 documentaries about Mothman. The Mothman of Point Pleasant in 2017 and The Mothman Legacy in 2020. Mothman's become a tourist trap. but when he first appeared, he was like the devil and absolutely terrified people, especially after the bridge. I'm gonna share my personal account of Mothman. If you stick with me, I'm gonna share my personal account of Mothman. Hellier, a 2019 digital documentary series released on YouTube and Amazon Prime, includes a segment on the second season dedicated to Mothman. The Point Pleasant Tapes is a found footage film co-written and directed by Jesse P. Pollock, Mike Vaccaro, and Dan Jones, and filmed with 1980s period correct cameras in the same West Virginia area as the sightings. The film made its festival debut October 19th in 2024. Mothman appears as the first boss in Trepang, being housed in the Horizon Corporation's Pandora Institute. Mothman is in Fallout 76, and he is creepy. He's creepy as hell in that game. There is a Mothman cult in that game, and he has a Magic the Gathering card called the Wise Mothman, based on the Fallout games. And he appears in Fortnite as an outfit that was added for Halloween in 2025. Let me see if I can find a picture of his card here. Give me one sec. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I'll put it up for y'all. Okay. So I have friends who really they absolutely love Fallout. And I used to play Fallout 76, and we would like go off and like play for hours at a time. And I'm trying to find this picture that I just saved. I hate when I can't find what I'm looking for. Come on. I just saved you. Here it is. Haha. Oh my god, it's huge. Oh, no. Don't do that. Okay, so this is the Magic the Gathering card. God, why'd you make this so big? Okay, this is the Wise Mothman. And this is a pretty good likeness of what he looks like in Fallout 76. He is creepy. He's a creepy little critter. He has flying. Whenever the Wise Mothman enters the battlefield or attacks, each player gets a rad counter. Whenever one or more non-land characters are milled, put a +1/+1 counter on each up to X target of creatures, where X is the number of non-land cards milled this way. So he's just here to like... He's a counter mill, basically. But the art's cool. He's creepy. What was the other thing? Let's see if I can find a video of him from Fallout 76 here. Let me see. Yeah, I found a video of him. Let me show you how creepy he is. He's a creepy little bastard. I'm gonna shrink down. And we don't need you right now. And we need you. And let me grab this.
Just eat, drink, Nuka-Cola.
What is this? What is this?
And what is what? Or is it below us?
Mothman!
What the fuck is that?
It's Mothman, everyone! It's Mothman! He's creepy. I feel like Mothman is kind of a touristy thing now. Like, you know, dude has just gone all in. He has a festival. You pet him. Don't pet. He's just attacking him. Don't attack. Don't pet him. He's a scary cryptid. He's gonna eat you. He's a scary cryptid. He's gonna eat your face. You'll eat him. There are 3 types. Yeah. There are different. There's the stalking one, and there's like some other ones. There's a whole mission. If you have never played Fallout 76, go and you basically collect a bunch of his goo to summon him. I mean, Fallout 76 is fun. It's one of those games that like had a really bad release and everyone is still mad about it. But there's a lot of fun to be had in Fallout 76. Will you two stop trying to eat Mothman? Stop trying to eat Mothman. Milk the Mothman? No, don't milk him. I don't think he has milk. If he did, I wouldn't recommend drinking it, especially from Fallout. He's radioactive. But yeah, that's Mothman. I saw I saw the Mothman Prophecies, and that movie freaked me out. That movie freaked me out. I was like, I hated that shit. Because there's a scene in the movie where the dude is basically like writing a book and is like, oh, this is all a scam. This is all like mass hysteria. These people are seeing a crane, and then they're all like convinced they saw a monster. And then this dude calls him on the phone and is telling him all this stuff. He's like, oh, he's like, what does it say on the 56th page of this book that I'm reading? And the thing recites it. And he's like, what am I holding in my hand? Chapstick. And then, like, you know, it's basically like a big, it's either a really, really clever hoax or something creepy and magic and supernatural and weird. And obviously the movie really leans into that something supernatural is happening. And it leans into that Mothman is in fact a creature and not a mass hallucination. I tend to think that I'm willing to believe in Mothman. I'm willing to believe that there's a Mothman creature roaming around. I've heard weirder things. I can believe in Mothman. I think that if Mothman is real, though, Mothman is just like, he just wants to vibe and be kind of left alone, and people went to look for him a lot, and he got pissed off, you know? That's my take on Mothman. I don't think he has, like, superpowers other than the ability to fly. He probably wants some pancakes, honestly. He's, you know, like, dude wants pancakes. Dude wants some pancakes, because they're gonna have a festival. He should get some of the pancakes, right? I mean, I think that's a fair trade. I think if you're gonna, like, make the dude come to, you know, a festival every year, he should get some pancakes. But that's just me. What do you think? Do you all think he should get some pancakes? Alright, let me grab our next critter here. And this is related to Mothman, as we just heard. In Hellboy, he just wanted more soda. Yeah, I don't think he's like a bad, like, it's like, oh, he collapsed the bridge. I'm like, I think he's probably just a weird little critter. You think Mothman is real? Okay, check this out. This is an owl. You may have seen one before. Owls. Owls are one of the most successful species in the world. Because owls exist almost everywhere. What, Atomic? It's an owl. What about it? Hoot, 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 hoot. You love owls? Well, I got news for you. We're going to talk about owls. I do also want... I have a link going. So let me ping this. Give me one sec. They are Saku-like creatures. If you want to support owls, you can donate to the National Aviary. The National Aviary is... it's actually local to me. It's in Pittsburgh, like I am. It's a really cool organization that houses, does research, and cares for owls. There are any number of awesome sanctuaries for raptors, owls, and other animals all over the world. If you'd like to support one, I just grabbed the National Aviary because it's a really easy one, and it's, you know, if you're in the US, it's the National Aviary. I've been there a bunch of times. I really like it. It's a cool place. So, owls are also associated with November. I'm going to read you all the definition of what an owl is. This is one kind of owl. Owls are birds from the order Strigoform.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Who raid?
There's someone at the door.
Hello, Goddess Reverie. Hi, welcome in, Raiders. My name is Sakutian. I'm a goofy goober that lives in a magic tower. Thank you for the raid. I was chosen.
Welcome to the tower.
Oh my god, thank you for following. What were y'all doing? I'm trying to do a shout out. We're talking about owls. We're talking about owls for... Well, we were talking about Mothman, now we're talking about owls. There you go. Goddess Reverie is a really cool streamer. I hang out and watch them play games a lot. They did a kinkism with my friend Prism before she graduated. talking about polyamory. It was a very, very cool stream. Welcome in, hello. Of course, Borderlands 4, you love owls. Well, okay, so I'm gonna preface this. Supernatural lore is not kind to owls. It is not. Like, I'm gonna read through some of what I found in my notes, but in a lot of cases, they're like, these owls are omens of death. Which is why I wanted to do something nice, so that's why we have the donation link if anyone wants to donate to support conservation of birds. Just like when we did the one about snakes, folklore is not always very kind to these animals. So I'm going to read you the definition. Owls are birds from the order Strigioform, which includes over 200 species of mostly solitary and nocturnal birds of prey, typified by an upright stance, a large broad head, binocular vision, binaural hearing, sharp talons, and feathers adapted for silent flight. Yes. Welcome in, raiders. Hello. Thank you for the raid again. I appreciate it. Owls are one of the most successful species on the planet. And I say that because they are almost everywhere in the world. Now, humans mess up their environment a lot, and that impacts how successful they are. So make sure you're kind to owls. Because we only get so many of them. Let me grab my research here. I have my fancy book, which there's a whole bunch of stuff in here about owls. I missed my page. Okay, so again, this is kind of a general consensus of owls. In the ancient world, the owl was associated not only with wisdom, but also with darkness and death. It was sacred to the goddess Athena and Demeter, and in most places, its hooting was a warning of death or misfortune. In ancient Chinese mythology, the owl was a one-footed dancer with a human face, who had originally been born in the form of a drum. The raven-nosed Emperor Yu forced Owl to perform a dance of submission for opposing him, and made Owl the emblem of smiths. To this day, the owl is not afraid of thunder because it was his dance that invented thunder and lightning. Imagine being so jealous of somebody that you turn them into an owl. That seems like really petty. Like, I don't like that dude. I'm gonna turn him into an owl. Like, they always used to do that stuff in, like, ancient stories. They'd be like, I don't like that dude. I'm gonna turn him into a fountain. You know? What else do we have here? In the lore of the Anue people of Japan, the owl is generally considered to be evil and to bring misfortune. See, again, everyone's like, the owl, it's like everyone got together. Turning men into things is fun, though. Stop turning people into things, Atomic. Like, they're always like, oh, the owl, that dick animal. The eagle owl is trusted as it warns people of approaching evil. Okay. Such owls were kept in cages and venerated, though they were eventually sacrificed so their spirits would take messages to the gods. The screech owl was said to warn against danger and to confer success in hunting, but the horned owl was a carrier of ill omen. It is considered unfortunate to have an owl fly in front of one, but total disaster to see it fly across the face of the moon. In the first instance, evil consequences could be avoided by spitting, but in the second, the situation is so serious that the only remedy is to change one's name and leave town. I guarantee you there's been at least one person who ran into the house at, like, the middle of the night, was like, we gotta pack! I saw an owl fly across the moon. We're leaving. We're leaving right now. According to the Cree people of North America, the presence of owls can make speaking very difficult. Owls are believed to cause stuttering, and that in turn causes owls much mirth. So, again, like, owls, according to the Cree people, just like to cause people to stutter, and they just think it's funny. Which is, like, the least bad thing we've heard about owls. If someone stutters inadvertently, this is said to attract owls. However, if any of the Cree believe owls to be causing supernatural difficulties in the village, someone will go and purposefully begin to stutter in the woods. This will summon an owl that can then be confronted and the problem made to resolve it. Okay, so if you are stuttering, according to this folklore, you go into the woods to attract an owl, and then you get the owl to stop making people stutter. Owls, everybody. Apparently they're dicks. Here's one for Atomic. Throughout much of Africa, the owl is considered to bring bad luck. What a shock. In East Africa, to hear its hooting at night can be disastrous for a newborn baby. If the child already suffers from an illness, people say in Swahili that this child has been hooted over. In Ghana, it's believed that witches have owls as familiars or can change themselves into the shape of these birds. In this form, they enter people's houses at night and attack their victims on the astral plane. The Yoruba of Nigeria relate that the witches or sorcerers can leave their bodies at night, and when they do, they take the shape of owls. In daytime, they sit dozing harmlessly in the shade, but at night, they enter their victims' houses through a hole in the roof and suck their blood. No. Who has ever looked at an owl and thought, that thing's gonna suck my blood? Who looked at an owl and was like, that thing's gonna come into life and suck my blood? Like, they don't even have mouths. I mean, they do, but like, they got a little beak. Like this. Get attacked on the astral plane, boy. Atomic! Be nice to the owls. They got enough problems without you dunking more shit on them. Let's see. Traditionally a bird of ill omen, the owl is strongly associated with a figure from Welsh tradition known as Blodeuwedd. She's a woman created from flowers by the enchantress Math and Gwydion for their nephew Lugh. Her name, which means flower face, seems to have foreseen her destiny, which is to be turned into an owl as punishment for her betrayal in the death of her husband. In the Mabinogion story of one of the significant animal helpers is the owl of Cwm Cawyd, who along with his fellows is the great age and wisdom. Elsewhere in Gaelic tradition, as an early Scottish song, I am not going to make you listen to me read a Scottish song written in Gaelic. So, most of the folklore that's attached to owls is they're beings of ill omen and dark magic. The biggest exception is, like, you know, Athena is associated with owls. Athena is associated with wisdom. So, by the transitive property, that's probably where we get the, Mr. Owl, like the wise old owl. Like, nowadays, like, if you're in America, people probably will be like, owls are smart. If you want a cool book about owls that isn't folklore, but it's still good, read There's an Owl in My Shower. I love owls. I think they are such cool animals. I think they're amazing. I'm going to grab some more info about owls for you all. And we're going to check out some more owl stuff. Get attacked on the astral plane, boy. I wanted to find my folklore note here. There's so much info about owls. Okay. Among the Kikuyu in Kenya, it's believed that owls were harbingers of death. If one saw an owl or heard its hoot, someone was going to die. In general, owls are viewed as harbingers of bad luck, ill health, or death. South Asia, in Hinduism, an owl is the goddess Lakshmi, especially in the eastern region of India. Owls are considered a symbol of wealth, prosperity, wisdom, good luck, and fortune. Finally, someone who likes owls. This is the reason why owls are seen with Lakshmi, who is also the goddess of fortune, wealth, and prosperity. At the same time, owls are also associated with evil times in Hinduism. At times, they are depicted. The god Chamunda is depicted seated on an owl. Her Vahana. So this deity, this being Chamunda, rides a giant owl. Hindus believe that owls are messengers of death. Okay, well, there you go. In China, owls are traditionally considered signs of evil or misfortune, but are also seen as symbol of good luck in military affairs, a symbol of protection, warding off evil spirits at funerals, and even as the incarnation of ancestors. Owls are one of the most common bird in carvings, paintings, bronze, pottery, and funerary objects. So owls have a lot of things going for them. We're getting, like, in Japan, owls are regarded as lucky, although in ancient times they were associated with death. Why is the owl constantly associated with death? Like, I look at an owl and I'm like, oh, look at that little birdie man. He's a little birdie bird, you know? And then it's like, that thing will kill us. I guarantee you, someone was like messing with an owl and like ran back to town to be like, guys, don't mess with those things. They'll kill you. In Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian cultures, the owl was associated with Lilith. Okay. The modern West generally associates owls with wisdom and vigilance. This link goes as far back as ancient Greece, where Athens, noted for its art and scholarship, and Athena, Athens' patron goddess and the goddess of wisdom, had an owl as its symbol. In medieval Europe, the owl was often used with more negative symbolism. The bird was associated with darkness, uncleanliness, and mourning. The bird was linked to the bubonic plague. The poor owl is just over here like, man, I am just trying to like eat and survive and be a cool species. And some guy in the Middle Ages was like, yeah, let me tell you about this bird, the owl. They're dirty and they stink. And now they're now most of them are in danger. So I like, it's not hard to figure out why. If you're like, oh hey, if you see an owl, it'll eat your house. Let me see what else we have here. People often allude to the reputation of owls as bearers of supernatural danger when they tell misbehaving children the owls will get you. Let's see. The Aztecs and the Maya, with other Mesoamericans, consider the owl as a symbol of death and destruction. In fact, the Aztec gods of death, Micatlachulitu, was often depicted with owls. There's an old saying in Mexico that's still in use. When an owl cries, someone dies. Okay, well, there you go. Well, great. The belief that owls are messengers and harbingers of dark powers can still be found among the Winnebago people of Wisconsin. What did the owls do to deserve all of this? Like, they're just owls. According to the culture of the Hopi, a Uto-Aztec tribe, taboos surround owls, which are associated with sorcery and other evils. The Ojibwe tribe, as well as their Aboriginal Canadian counterparts, used an owl as a symbol for both evil and death. In addition, they used owls as a symbol of very high status for their spiritual leaders and their spirituality. The Pawnee tribe viewed owls as symbols of protection and danger from any danger within their realms. Okay, so maybe the owls should go hang out with the Pawnee. The Pawnee people like them. The Puebloan peoples associated the owl with the skeleton man, the god of death and the spirit of fertility. How are you going to have a god who's the god of death and the spirit of fertility? Those two things do not seem like they go together. The Yakima tribes used owls as a totem to guide where and how forests and natural resources are useful with management. Okay. All right. I think owls are amazing animals. I think they're just really, really cool, and I like that they're really prevalent in culture. I'm gonna find y'all an owl video really quick here. Give me one sec. Let me find the video I was looking for. Owl. Okay, I found it. Okay, let me turn my music off. Atomic, don't attack people in the astral plane. It's not cool. It's rude, in fact. I am too big. And my owl is too big. I need to shrink you. Okay, we'll bring the owl back in a minute. I need to shrink so you all can see, and I will play you all a video. That was really loud. Sorry about that. Owl. Owl. Aww, look how happy it is. Little owl baby. It's just vibing. You don't look like a harbinger of death and ill omen. You just look. Oh, look at your eyelashes. There's an owl in your sink. Again, not a harbinger of ill omen and death. It's just vibing. It's just hanging out. It's boogieing. It likes the music. That's cute. That's super cute. That's super cute. Aww. Aww. Look at the little owly owl. Owly owl owl. Aww. Look at it. Oh, they gave it a little toy mouse. Aw, they gave it a little toy. It's like, ooh. This owl's like, I'm gonna groom you, dog. Get over here. No! That's a big dog! Get off me. Get off of me. Be gone, stinky dog. I love their eyes. They just like stare at people. It's vibing. Aww, little owl baby. Look how cute it is. Aww, you're a sweet little baby. This one is a very little owl, a little squat baby owl. Is it sitting on a back scratcher? I think it's sitting on a back scratcher. I like that. I like owls. Let me see. I want to find this one video real quick. Okay. Bye, Scarlett. So, they're trying to sing to make this owl go away, and it's just like... Hey. I love owls. I love owls.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Yeah. I love owls. I think they're really cool animals. If you want to be very, like, again, and if you see owls in the wild, like, you know, just be nice to them. Like, don't mess with them. Leave them alone. Let them do their thing. My friend Prism saw an owl one time, and it was hurt, and she saved it. She saved an owl. Because Prism was a very nice person. Like, people ask me this. I used to work at a raptor sanctuary, and a lot of times when you see owls that are permanently sanctuary residents, or zoo residents, or similar situations, those are animals that, for one reason or another, can't be released back into the wild. Due to either injury, or they couldn't take care of themselves. Car strikes are really common. Being attacked is, really common. Just injuries that these animals would, basically, if they sent them back out into the world, they would just die. So, let's be kind to the owl. Let's be nice to the owls. Let's end the bad press on the owl, and let it just kind of be a little buddy that vibes and hangs out with us. Shall we? Let me turn my music back up here. All right. That's my lecture about owls for you all. I want to grab my next image here. Okay, so this is our last creature for today. We talked about Mothman. We talked about owls. This is the Puca. This is a drawing of a Puca from the Spiderwick Chronicles. And I think it's really cute. But I'm going to grab a different image. There you go. Here's another interpretation of the Puca. Okay, so what is a Puca? Some of you are like, what the hell is a Puca? I've never heard of this. Alright, so let me grab this. The Puca is a creature of Celtic, English, and Channel Island folklore. Considered to be bringers of both good and bad fortune, they could help or hinder rural and marine communities. Puca can have dark or white fur or hair. The creatures were said to be shape changers that could take on the appearance of horses, goats, cats, dogs, and hares. They may also take on a human disguise, which includes various animal features, such as animal ears or a tail. So they're shapeshifters. They're little shapeshifters, and they can be good or bad. Let me grab my research real quick here. Alright, so the nature of the Puca. The Puca may be regarded as either menacing or beneficial. Fairy mythologist Thomas Keatley said, notions respecting to it are very vague, and a brief description gives an account collected by Croker from a boy living in Killarney that said, old people used to say that Pucas were very numerous long ago. They were wicked-minded, black-looking bad things that would come in the form of wild colts with chains hanging around them, and that much did much harm to unwary travelers. Also, little bad boys and girls were warned not to eat overripe blackberries because that was a sign that the Puca had entered them. So I guess they thought that the Puca could possess you. One theme of the Puca's folklore is their proclivity for mischief. They are commonly said to entice humans to take a ride on their back, giving the rider a wild and terrifying journey before dropping the unlucky person back to the place they were taken from. This lore bears similarities to other Irish folk creatures said to target humans on the road or their regular passes. These human encounters of the Puca tend to occur in rural, isolated places far from settlements or home. While Puca stories can be found across Northern Europe, Irish tales specify a protective measure for encountering a Puca. It's said that a rider may be able to take control of the Puca by wearing sharp spurs, using those to prevent being taken or to steer the creature if they're already on its back. So they're like, just wear spurs at all times, and the Puca won't get you. In contrast, the Puca is represented as being helpful by farmers, by Lady Wilde, who relates the following tale. A farmer's son named Patrick one day noticed the invisible presence of the Puca brushing by and called out to him offering a coat. The Puca appeared in the guise of a young bull and told him to come to the old mill at night. From that time onward, the Puca came secretly at night and performed all the work of milling the sacks of corn into flour. Patrick fell asleep the first time, but later concealed himself in the chest to catch sight of them. Later made a present of a fine silk suit. This unexpectedly caused the Puca to go off to see a little of the world, and cease its work. But by then, the farmer's wealth allowed him to retire and give his son an education. Later at the wedding, the Puca left a gift of a golden cup filled with drink that evidently ensured their happiness. Well, that's nice. So you gave the Puca a little suit, and it made you rich. Another example of the Puca as benevolent or protective comes in tales where the creature intervenes with terrible accidents or before the person is about to happen upon a malevolent fairy or spirit. In several of these regional variants of the stories where the Puca is acting as a guardian, the Puca identifies itself to the bewildered human. This is particularly noteworthy as it's in contrast to the lore of many other folkloric beings who guard their identities or names from humans. Oh, so the Puca will tell you its name. According to the legend, the Puca is a deft shapeshifter capable of assuming a variety of terrifying or pleasing forms. It can take on human form, but will often leave animal features such as ears or a tail. It's a furry! It's a furry! Wait, I could be a Puca. One sec. I'll make myself a Puca for you all. One sec. One sec. I can do that. What can I? I'm looking at something. Give me one sec. Here. There you go. And boop, 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 boop. Nope. Nope. Okay, let me try that again. Unlock. No. Don't do that. Okay, it works. I'm a puka. See? I don't think that's what they meant, but I could be a puka. Let's see. Okay, so no matter what shape the puka takes, its fur is almost always dark. Well, shit. It most commonly takes the form of a sleek black horse with a flowing mane and luminescent golden eyes. If the human is enticed onto a puka's back, it has been known to give them a wild ride. However, unlike a kelpie, which takes its rider and dives into the nearest stream or lake to drown and devour them, the puka will do its rider no real harm. Wait a sec. I gotta check something here. I gotta check. I know a kelpie. I'm gonna see if I can call her. Okay. I know a kelpie. However, according to some folklores, the only man to ever ride a puka was Brian Barrow, High King of Ireland, by using a special bridle incorporating 3 hairs of the puka's tail. The puka has the power of human speech and has been known to give advice and lead people away from harm. Though the puka enjoys confusing and often terrifying humans, it's considered to be benevolent. Okay, so the puka is basically like it's like a silly little trickster. Like it might like mess with you and take you on a wild ride, but it's not going to try to eat you. Usually. Certain agricultural traditions surround the puka. It's a creature associated with Samhain when the last of the crops are brought in. Anything remaining in the field is considered puka or fairy blasted and hence inedible. In some locales, reapers leave a small share of the crop or the puka share to placate the hungry creatures. Nonetheless, the 1st of November is the puka's day, and the one day of the year when it can be expected to behave civilly. At the beginning of November, the puka is known in some locales to either defecate or spit on the wild fruits, rendering them inedible and unsafe. This little creature is like, what are you, dude? You're just out there spitting in the bushes, like, or pooping on them, like, ew. In some regions, the puka is spoken with considerably more respect than fear. If treated with deference, it may be beneficial to those who encounter it. The puka is a creature of the mountains and the hills, and in those regions, there are stories of it appearing on November Day and providing prophecies and warnings to those who consult it. In some parts of County Down, the puka is considered as a short, disfigured goblin who demands a share of the harvest. It appears as a monstrous boogeyman, while in Waterford and Wexford, the puka appears as an eagle with a huge wingspan, or in Roscommon as a black goat. It seems to always like to turn into animals. William Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night's Dream, the character Robin Goodfellow, who is also called Sweet Puck, is a version of a puka. Puka appear as regular atmospheric threats in the children's game show Nightmare, which aired from 1987 to 1994. They appear as green, floating, ghost-like creatures with charismatic There are characteristic prominent cheeks and plants for hair. There's also a statue of a puka in Ireland. The 2-meter-tall bronze sculpture was erected in the Burren at the Michael Cusack Center in Karen Clare in 2022. Well, I like that. I like the puka. I think it's neat. I love like little weird shapeshifter creatures. I think they're cool. I think they're cool. I think the puka is neat. I'm going to see if there's anything different of note in my book here. Give me 1 second. I will check for you all. The puka. The puka. That's a pig. That is not a puka. Puka, 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 puka. Ah, yeah, here we go. The Welsh puka is related to the Irish puka, the Cornish buka, and the Manx bugangi. It lives by itself and can act like a brownie or a house spirit, although it can also choose to behave as it pleases if it's not respected. So, like, the sense I'm getting with the puka from folklore, from the stories here are, it's a little mischievous, it's a little bratty at times. If you kind of obey its rules and don't take its food and don't mess with it too much, though, it'll probably help you out. Like, you know, it'll at least not, if nothing else, it's not going to try to eat you. I think that's cool. I like the puka. This man on the ground in the image seems absolutely terrified of this thing, which I guess I would be too if I saw a horse that had, like, a glowing mouth. But, I mean, wouldn't you? If I saw anything that had a glowing mouth that's not supposed to have a glowing mouth, I'd probably be like, huh. That is concerning. Let me see here. I'm checking to see if there's any cool videos of pukas. I don't think there really are. A lot of this stuff is like the Spiderwick Chronicles, which apparently they show up in the Spiderwick Chronicles. It seems like they're kind of like one of those folklore pieces that they've kind of taken on their own life and grown and gone in a lot of directions. So like regionally, they very great, like kind of like dragons. How like every culture has like different versions of dragons, or owls if we're going with owls as well. Like in this region, owls are viewed as symbols of wisdom. In this region, owls are viewed as symbols of wealth. In that region, they think the owl is going to drink your fucking blood. Which I'm like, okay, sure. I really like I think these are all amazing creatures, and I think they definitely each have a place in Sting's Wings and other things. I think they're really cool. And even Mothman, who is probably like, we're gonna give Mothman the most tourist trappy version of a magical creature who's made it into anything so far. Because, oh my god, that dude has a pancake eating contest. Once you have a pancake eating contest, that's it. You are now a tourist trap. If you have a pancake eating contest, you are a tourist trap. There's no saving you at that point. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's what's gonna happen. Why can't I get my ears to go away? Hello? There we go. Boop. Go away, ears. I, again, do these once a month. I've done a few so far. So thus far, we've talked about kelpies, we talked about unicorns, we talked about Kirans, we talked about a variety of magical horses with my friend Flara. I talked about a snake creature whose name I can never remember for the life of me, and Doolahans. That VOD just got posted the other day. So if you liked this, and you want to learn more about other magical creatures, there's a few of these VODs on my YouTube channel and here on Twitch. I'm Sakutian everywhere, so feel free to check those out. I'll be back to do another one of these next month. I try to do one of these every month. I think we've only missed 1 month so far. I'm going to check and see if anyone... Okay, wait a sec. We can raid. Let me see if we can do this raid. Let me see if we can get this raid going. Give me 1 sec. I don't know if it'll work. We'll do our best. Let me try to get this raid going here. Yeah. We're gonna raid Cottontail. And it is not Cotton's birthday, but we're gonna do this. You know exactly who. There is your raid message. It is not Cotton's birthday. It is not Cotton's birthday, but there you go. I will be back soon. I'll get the schedule up tomorrow. I stream twice a week. Thank you again to Goddess Reverie for the raid, and thank you all for sticking around to hear me talk about magical creatures. I hope you learned something or you found something cool. Until next time, as always, remember to play more games, be safe, look after yourselves, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.